Hello, sisters. Welcome to the Sacred Medicine Podcast, weaving powerful, soulful practices into functional medicine. Step into this beautiful space of devotion and explore everything from nurturing foods, rituals, sexuality, and awakening your innate sensuality. It is time to own your radiance. This is the Sacred Medicine Podcast. Hello and welcome back to the Sacred Medicine Podcast, and this is number 4 of the Lupus mini-series. And today we are talking all about fatigue. I think it is one of the most, if not 100% of people suffering from lupus suffer from fatigue. And what I'm going to tell you today and share with you are the many reasons behind your fatigue. The answer to your fatigue is not, which I'm sure you've heard a million times, is not, oh, it's just a consequence of lupus. It's just a consequence. It's just because you have an autoimmune condition. Everyone feels fatigue. Like it just is par for the course. No, it is not par for the course. Because I'm going to tell you some of the reasons why you may have fatigue and some of the things you may want to look into or have your doctor look into. Though if they're completely conventional medicine, they may or may not want to or are interested in looking further. So, a couple of reasons why you have fatigue. Number 1, nutritional deficiencies. Now, aside from the typical, iron deficiency, which is very common among autoimmune conditions, you also want to check things like B12 and magnesium and zinc and make sure that they're at their optimal level. Number 2, you want to check your thyroid. Not only a TSH. No, you want to get a full thyroid panel and have someone that understands what those optimal results are. Not as long as they're within reference range. No, absolutely not. Reference ranges are not, they're not good to look at because it'll say, oh, TSH, anything from like 0.5 to 4.5 is fine. No, because anybody that comes to me and their TSH is anything over 3, we have a problem. And so if you have only had your TSH checked, we're missing the rest of the story. So a full thyroid panel. And I did write a post on Instagram about this, on what things to order. So if you can find that or Google that, it'll be all on there. But you want to also have your thyroid antibodies checked. Absolutely. And also a reverse T3. Okay, so next. So vitamin deficiencies, we have thyroid. You want to check for chronic infections, something that's rarely checked. It's rare, and you wouldn't believe the kind of chronic infections that I've seen. There's a multitude of things that your body could be on a daily basis, just kind of like sluggishly trying to fight off these infections that you have no idea that you have. Because guess what? No one's checked for them. For example, parasites, candida, not just in vaginal areas, but in your gut. And this takes stool sampling to figure this out. And it takes more than just the stool that you give into your doctor's office, because typically those are just not able to pick things up. All right, the kind of stool test you want is the one that's 5 to 6 pages long. Those are the ones. And typically, the only people that tend to have access to that are functional medicine providers, such as myself, naturopaths as well. Okay. And other chronic infections would be like an underlying Epstein-Barr virus, cytomegalovirus, that, let's say you get them done, IgG and an IgM, for example. IgM means current infection. IgG means past infection, that you've developed antibodies and now they're finding the antibodies in your body. So, okay, if you have IgM, that means you have a current infection, which is very good to know, because then you can, now, what I'm going to tell you is that conventional medicine will say, okay, you have these viruses, but there's nothing you can do because there's nothing to give. So you just sort of have to deal with it. Just rest for like a month. It'll go away. It's what they say about mono, right? Mono is the Epstein-Barr virus, but that's not the truth. The truth is that you need to be on some very good nutrients and supplements to help boost your immunity, because everyone with chronic illness, you really sort of, what I have seen is that your reserves are very low, meaning your body's just been so taxed with fighting infections, dealing with this autoimmune condition. Most people are nutritionally deficient, so you don't sleep well, you're under high stress. All of these things cause your immunity, the part of your immune system that needs to sort of fight against these chronic infections. Like if you have a parasite or candida somewhere, it can't. It's so tired. Your body is just so tired. It's on low reserves. So, you need to be on, depending on what your lab work shows, you need to be on certain supplements to help boost those reserves. And I'm not saying, like, let's boost it so then, quote unquote, your body is attacking itself. The body is recognizing something as foreign, and so it is attacking it. And when we figure out what is not supposed to be there, maybe it's a food sensitivity that you're eating every single day, and your body's like, whoa, I don't like this. And the body it's smart. It knows when there's something that shouldn't be there. If you have intestinal permeability, if your gut has just been through the ringer and back due to medications, candida, chronic infections, a slew of things, then you're not able to absorb much. You can take all the supplements you want and it can't absorb it. So I could go hours with this on just fatigue alone. But it is the basis of the things that when I work with women with lupus, it's one of the things that I look at, because I go real deep with figuring out what's going on with your body. And this is number 4 of a mini series, but I would love to continue these and continue to answer your questions here on the podcast. I do want to announce something really exciting. So today is the very end of July. And so in August, I am going to be launching something so amazing, something that I'm so excited about for women with lupus, where I go step by step into every single thing that I've been talking about through this entire series and more. And we are going to look at every single thing. It is going to be so eye-opening for you. And it is so different than what your rheumatologist has been talking about this whole time. And it is not, and I'm not going to be talking about, let's just Band-Aid everything and suppress everything and put you on pain medication and tons of prednisone. No. We're not talking about that. We are getting to the real deal of what has caused your immune condition. Because, sister, there is a reason behind why this happened. There was a reason behind mine, and there's a reason behind yours. Trust me on this one. I have not had a single lupus flare in over a decade. So, I will be announcing this soon, but I just want you to keep a heads up, keep a close watch on the website and on Instagram, and keep listening to these podcasts because it will be announced very shortly. I am so excited to be working closely with so many of you. And so that is it for this week. Fatigue, it's common, it's there, it exists. And guess what? It's not just because you have an autoimmune condition. I mean, it obviously it's due to it, but the reason behind it, don't accept the reason that, oh, it's just, sorry, it's because you have an autoimmune condition. Oh, sorry, it's just because you have MS. Oh, sorry, it's just because you have lupus. It's just because you have rheumatoid arthritis. No, that's not good enough. It wasn't good enough for me 12 years ago or 13 years ago now. And it wasn't the case. And it's still not the case for me. Like, I just don't believe that. And I figured it out why. And I haven't had fatigue or pain in over a decade. So I want that for you. I so want that for you. And we are going to be doing something incredible together come in August. I'd say anywhere between mid to third week of August. So have the most beautiful day. Love to you all. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope wherever you are in the world, if this podcast resonated with you and you've been loving these podcasts, I would love for you to send in a review to iTunes. That would be wonderful. Thank you so much. Bye for now.